Welcome to the Class Business Podcast. I'm Krissy Monaghan, your host, and today we're joined by Claire Torbett, founder of Power Up Tuition, where she helps children and young people improve their math skills and build confidence through fun, varied and engaging tuition. Claire is a finalist for Tutor of the Year, sponsored by Joe Baranti at the Class Business Awards. I can't wait for this conversation, so let's dive in. Claire, it's absolutely amazing to have you with us today on the podcast. For everyone who is listening online or watching us on YouTube, please tell everyone who you are, what do you do, and where do you do it?
So I'm Claire Torbett, and I am a maths tutor in Surrey. I'm based in Woking, and I think I'm part of a dying breed of tutors, really, because I solely work face-to-face. I don't do any online tuition. So all of my tuition is from years 3 to 11 through a variety of mostly groups with a few one-to-ones. And I've been doing it since 2022.
So what did you do before you decided to leap into self-employment?
I was a teacher. I was a classroom teacher. And then life happened, children, marriage, moving abroad, all those sorts of things. And then when we came back, I started doing a bit of supply teaching, and then COVID happened. And then I went back to supply teaching, and I knew, no, there needs to be something else. And this landed in my lap, really, with a text message.
Oh, right. Go on, tell me the text message.
So we have a street WhatsApp, and somebody from down the road posted, does anybody know a maths tutor for GCSE? And it's something I did many years ago, and I thought, actually, yeah, I can help out with that. So I contacted them, and I said, yeah, did it before, haven't done it for a while, offered them absolute peanuts rate, and then just fell back in love with teaching, and then it spiraled. So yeah, it's all came from a WhatsApp message.
I love the fact that, hang on, just when you said a street WhatsApp group, is it a street WhatsApp group?
Yeah. I live in the best street. We've got the best neighbours WhatsApp group. We pass all the kids' toys up and down the street, recommendations of plumbers and electricians, and finding math tutors.
That's brilliant. I mean, it's just like a lovely way to have a community, isn't it? And so you left the teaching world, then the text message came, and you started off with one child that you were tutoring. So how did the business grow?
So I was still doing supply on and off, because it was post-COVID, and it was all that sort of time where, your child coughs and you've got to have 2 weeks off and stuff like that. So there was quite a lot of supply work going around, and I didn't love it. And then this message came, and I started doing that. And then I was chatting to a friend, and she then passed my details on to her friend. And so that one came to me as well. And then someone else I sort of knew in the village got wind of that, and they came, and then someone down the street was like, well, hang on a minute, if you're doing that. And then I was like, I'm onto something here. And so I did a bit of research as to tutors in my area and what was on offer. And the one thing that wasn't on offer was face-to-face group tuition. And I thought, right, I'm going to give that a go. And I started looking at what the options were, had an idea for an after-school club, went to the head teacher, who was the teacher that I had been working. By this time, the tuition had taken off so much, I'd actually said, I can't do any supply now. So I'd stopped being part of their staff. And I went to the head teacher, and I expected her to say, no, it's too conflict of interest, not quite what we're looking for. But actually, post-COVID, any extra maths. And so she jumped at the chance for me to run a club externally, like it's my club. But I run it at the school. And then since then, it's grown into, I do group tuition right up to GCSE, some of it in school and some of it at my house.
And what's the, obviously maths is your passion. Where does that come from?
I think, historically it probably comes from my dad. My dad was very numerate. But I, from a very young age, loved maths. I used to get textbooks out the library and do them for fun. It stemmed from the fact I was good at it. It made sense. And so I'd get sort of joy and satisfaction out of the fact that I could do it. And then I went through, did 2 maths A levels, a maths degree, became maths lead at school, all those sorts of things. I just love it. And I just like to make it as practical and as playful as possible.
And obviously you work with, did you say, is it 40 students a week that you work with?
At my peak, it's generally about 40 to 45 students a week.
Right. And from all different age groups?
Yep, from age 7 to 16.
So and what type of children are you working with? Is it people that just want extra tuition for maths, or is it people that are disengaged from the education system? Like, who are the children that you're supporting?
I've got a real variety. I've got some home ed students who, for one reason or another, haven't been in school. And then I've got kids who need extra support. I've got kids who are aiming for higher grades. So I don't really have like one kind of student that I work with. I wouldn't ever tell anybody I'm a home ed tutor, because that's like a real small part of what I do. And actually the students I work with out of school are not really home ed as such. They're sort of in education in some way. But for the most part, like all my stuff I do with Key Stage 2, so my year 3 to 6 stuff is very general. I've got kids who are struggling. I've got kids who just want to do more maths. And then from year 7 and above, I curate my groups a bit more, because there's no point in me, like once you get up to GCSE, you've got the different papers and it's really hard to mingle all that in together. So it's a real mix.
And the children that you work with who are struggling, how do you engage them? Like, how do you get them to like a topic if they've got this like mindset around not liking maths?
So a lot of it, most of what I do will come down to helping them build confidence. So with like my youngest group, my year 3-4 group, so that's called Maths Club. It's going to be called Maths Explorers from September, but it's not tutoring. It's exploration, it's craft, it's games. Like we're doing valuable maths, but we're doing it in a way that it doesn't feel like when they first come, they're like, oh, I've been signed up to Maths Club, we've got to do, and they're expecting another lesson. And they're not getting that from me. They're getting games and equipment and crafts and all sorts of things. And so if you build the confidence, then that builds the motivation. And I had a student last year who she came to me. She was really struggling to pass. She was in higher maths for GCSE. She was struggling to get that pass mark. And after just a few months, she came out of her mocks. She'd got 17 extra marks overall. Wow. Had moved up into her safe grade. And I said to her, what made the difference? She went, I just believed I could try.
Okay,
I just believed that I could give it a go. And I wasn't scared about having a go and getting it wrong. And I think with my older students, that is one thing I'm always saying to them, like, you can't get any marks if you write nothing. But if you write something, if you can look at that question and just pick out one piece of information in a 4 or 5 mark question and have the confidence to write that down, that could be the first mark. So I really try and work with my students you don't have to get the whole thing right, but we do need just to have that little oof over the line to get started and find something. And I think in all the feedback I get, a lot of it is about, their improved confidence, improved perception of the subject. So I do pride myself on that.
Yeah, and it sounds like you're doing amazing work. And obviously you've got all of this background and history and training in maths. So in your opinion, why do you think that obviously it starts when they start at preschool and nursery? Like, why are we getting to a point where, like you said, they don't have the confidence to have a go or try it, or it's just these barriers go up? Like, what do you think's going on?
So much is going on. So from being in school and from a curriculum point of view, it's fast. There's a lot of content. If you've got a cold and you miss a bit, then you've got to try and catch that up. And that might be something really key. So from that point of view, like, that's really fast. And also, like with the system as it is at the minute, to you can do a GCSE exam, for example. So I keep coming back to GCSE, but and not get a very great percentage, like 30%. But that is a pass, but it feels bad. So there's certain bits about that where the perception of the mark can sort of have an impact on what's going on inside the child. Some of it is hard, like really hard and irrelevant, I have to say. And then some of it is at home. Some of it is the parents who are saying, oh, yeah, I was never any good at maths. I can't do maths, which is a real social problem because people don't tend to go, oh, yeah, I can't read. I don't do reading. But it's almost socially acceptable to say that about maths. And I think that then those sort of little messages get ingrained as well. And as I say, it's a bit more socially acceptable to say, or almost like, cool, oh, I'm really bad at maths. And, some people are genuinely bad at maths. They can't see it. They've got certain things that just don't make sense to them. But it's very common to give that sort of negative vibe at home. So my job when they come to me is like, actually, do you know what? Maths is beautiful. And maths is enjoyable and you can give it a go. And if you can't do all of it, then we have a look at where we can do some of it and work on it like that.
I love that ethos. And I understand what you said about I think it's just a history, isn't it, of how parents are being taught. It's like PE. I love PE and I love sport. But when the teacher used to send everyone around a massive field to run cross country, it just gave cross country a bad name because no one wants to run around in the freezing cold and in the rain and wet. And it's not like that at all. So then no one wants to do sport. And it's the same with maths and stuff, isn't it? If you don't feel confident about doing it, then you're like, actually, I can't do it. And then it's like handing the responsibility over to the school to do that part. And then it just goes in that little vicious circle, isn't it, of trying to a flywheel of children not feeling confident enough to go and do all that work. So you're predominantly based at a school. You got a base at the school?
So I rent space at the school 3 times a week after school. I originally started out with my youngest group at the school, and then my year 5, 6 groups, I hired a space at the village hall. And I was running my groups there. And then I was kind of finding that people were coming to me and saying, I want them to come to your group, but I can't get them to you. I can't pick them up from school at 3:10 and get them to you for 4:00 because I'm working. So again, I approached the head teacher at the school where I did my club and I was like, I'm having this problem. Would you consider letting me do them here? And again, she didn't hesitate. She was like, absolutely. And it's quite big primary school. So I know it's kind of got a captive audience. And who doesn't love a kids club that you don't have to take them to? So it works out really well for me there. That I have up to 6 in that group. Like it's a small group tuition, but they can come straight to me and we have a biscuit and we have a chat and then we get on with the session. But the village hall, I still use it. I mean, I still use it occasionally. And then the rest of it, I do at my dining table.
Yeah, do it.
The older students. Yeah, because once they're older, they can just walk to me. Most of them go to the high school that's like 10 minutes up the road. So because I live on, like Woking's quite population dense, and I live in a satellite village. So I knew, and this was one of the things when I started out, was I knew that I might need to go online.
Right.
And I didn't really want to do that. And then it was just like, actually, the demand is here. I don't need to go online. I can just grow my face-to-face options and offerings. And so that's what I did.
Yeah, because I was reading in your application that you don't have a team, you're a solopreneur, and you don't want to build a team, and that is completely fine because not everyone has to. What made you come to that decision? What were you like, okay, this is how I'm building?
So initially, I just started out, as I say, it started by accident. So there was no business plan. There was no goals. It was just like, okay, start. And then it started to snowball. And there was a particular day, like I was thinking about going online and international clients and when you reach capacity, take on other tutors and stuff like that. And I went to a tuition leadership day, and the chat in the room, and I was just like, this isn't what I want. And that was the day I was like, actually, I don't have to have that. I don't have to want that. I can just be me and, deliver the things that I want to deliver. And also, I didn't want to have anybody else like relying on me. I think once you moved into tuition business or, taking on other things like that, then or memberships, all that sort of thing, you've then that's quite a lot of pressure. And I know that wouldn't fit in with my family life and where we are at the moment. So I just stick with me. I don't even have a VA. I don't know how I manage really, but I do.
Well, no, I do like the fact that you are clear about what you're wanting to build, because sometimes people can get caught up and swept up with, I need to build a team and I need to be nationally scaled, and and there's people that do that and it's right for them, but like you just said, it's not what you want to build. It doesn't fit in with your lifestyle. So it sounds like you've built a business around what you actually enjoy doing.
Absolutely.
And what meets your needs and what you're happy to actually focus on. So what's the plans for the rest of this year? Like I read that you're up to capacity already, so you are probably now hit that bottleneck where you are the bottleneck. But what's the plans for the rest of this year? How do you want to grow your business, or just keep stabilize it?
So for the tuition side of things with students, I'm just absolutely calm with where it is and happy. Content, that's the word I was looking for. I have inquiries coming in all the time. I know, I don't hold a waiting list as such, but I do hold an expression of interest form, because I don't take people on in order of how they've approached me, because they need to fit into my groups. So I know that if I lose a student, as I've had a student just finish with me this week, that the new person has paid their deposit today. So I have that sort of thing. So I'm quite content with how the tuition is. In terms of growing for me, that's now more my tutor mentoring side of things. Okay. I was finding more and more that people were coming to me and asking me about how I ran my groups, how I got into schools, how I advertise. So for me at the moment, that's kind of the growth, the away from the students and helping other tutors. And are you seeing?
Are you seeing a lot more people coming into tutoring?
Yes.
Yeah, from exiting school roles, or?
Yeah. I'm regularly getting messages of, I can't do this anymore. I need something else. I love the look of what you've built. Can you help me?
Okay, that's fascinating. And obviously, you're helping them get started and obviously get going with growing their business and moving forward. So the children that you work with, obviously you're having a massive impact on their life. Like you see them every single week, I assume over the course of the year. What's been the biggest impact story for you? Like, what's the one that's been like, I've made such a massive difference to that child's life or children's lives?
It's really hard to pick one, to be honest. I mean, let's say the one I've already told you about that was like, I just believed I could, was like, that's all you can ask for them. But I've had students who, had previously failed, horrible word, but, that's what it is for GCSE. And we got, I worked with them and we got them over the line. And so now they can move on to the next thing, because that's what I always say to my students is, what's next? Like, if you don't need a grade 9 at GCSE, then we don't need to work towards a grade 9. Like, we'll help you do your best. But where do we need to focus in order for your next thing? So, and I just love it when you get the messages of like, oh, I got my grade 6, and so now I can go and do this at A level. And just when you get those messages of thanks, really, and you could think, actually, do you know what? I did make a difference. I did help them see it differently. I did, I can't wave a magic wand, but I'd like to sometimes. But you just, and you bond with them and you make an interest. And so, one thing is, I just can't say one thing, is just loads of them.
Well, no, you have made a massive difference. And I think the thing where you were saying about the, what's the next thing? Like, because I feel like sometimes children can just, they're like being put through this like sausage machine, and it's like, we've got to do X, Y, and Z. And the way I explain it to my children is like, this is just a chapter in your lives. It doesn't define your life. Like it doesn't define where you're going to end up, where you're going to, where you start is not where you always finish. No. We just have to get through this chapter. Yeah. And so I like the way where you're saying, like, what's the next thing? Like, what are you building towards? What do you actually want to do long term? Is it this? Is it that? And then what do we actually need to do just to enable you to get you there? If this grade is out of reach, but what do we actually need to do to help you get to that bit? Yeah. And I love that that's your philosophy, and it sounds like that's how you work with children and young people.
Yeah, and I think by having that conversation with them, because sometimes when parents do my form, there's information like where are they at and what you think, but I usually have a separate conversation with the students. It's like, okay, what do you want? What do you think you can achieve? And what do you need? And actually that came from a chat with a fellow tutor friend quite a long time ago, and I've used it ever since because it's really useful discussion to have with them. And I'm not saying that if they say to me, oh, I just need to pass, that's all we go for. Of course we don't do that. We still push, but we know that that's the baseline, and anything beyond that is a bonus. So by building up that relationship and getting to understand them and showing an interest, are they going on to drama school? Are they looking to take maths A level? What is it? And there are other things like geography, you actually need quite a high grade in geography because there's a lot of stats involved. Yeah. So, and then just understanding how I can help them to achieve that.
Right, it sounds like you're doing amazing work. And if people want, like, if anyone's watching this interview afterwards and they want to come and find out how to work with you to get tuition services first, where can they connect with you?
So the best place is to go to my Power Up Tuition Facebook page. That if you go there, then you can find the links to my expression of interest form, and you can scroll through and see some of the bonkers activities that we do, and my kind of style of teaching, and get to know me a bit. That's the best place if you're looking for tuition.
Perfect. And if someone is a tutor who is starting out and they're looking for some support or mentoring or guidance, is it the same place? Where do you want them to come to?
Facebook is the best place, really. That's where it's all linked up. But I do a lot more sort of tutor connection on Instagram, still Power Up Tuition, and I'm on LinkedIn as Claire Torbett.
Perfect.
So I can be found all over.
Oh, brilliant. I'm sure there'll be lots of people out there who are obviously needing support and help. Like you said, if lots of people are leaving the teaching sector, which always makes me really sad.
Oh, it's really sad.
It is what it is, isn't it, really? And we're going to see you on the 10th of October down in Birmingham. Really looking forward to seeing you. It's going to be an amazing day. Thank you so much for your time today and sharing about the work that you're doing with Power Up Tuition. It's been amazing hearing about the stories you're doing, how you work, what you're doing in the schools, and how you can support other tutors. So thank you for giving up your time to come and speak to us.
Thanks for having me.
And if you are listening to this or watching this and this story has resonated with you, please do go and connect with Claire. She will be there on the day, but she'll be available between now and October to chat with anyone. And we're really looking forward to seeing you on the 10th of October.